come in for a landing in your body, feeling what it feels like to be you in this moment. Dun, 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 dun. One more second. All right. We are set. Here we go. All right. Taking off the glasses. Had a very late night last night. My band played at the Unicorn Bar in Kingston, and it was so fun. And I am recovering from being a person among other people. And the peapod, the squeaky, the squeaker is here needing a lot of attention today. So if you have a little buddy who gets in the way, just be lucky that you have a little friend. Oh, he super wants to play. All right, inhale, open, stretch out and up. See if you can find in your own experience and in your own body a sense of wonder. When I open my chest and I look up here, like there's a lot of wonder in my body, and wonder is like a magical thing. So seeing if you can find some wonder, some wonderment in your experience. I feel like there's something like right over the camera, but it looks like a cat hair. Maybe, I think it's gone. Inhale, open, and exhale, let go. Inhale, stretch out and up, open your heart, open your chest, and exhale. And we're going to do this again also with cat cow. Maybe even move this back a little bit, since I am just using my computer camera right now, and it seems to be doing a lot better than the Logitech. Internal rotation, external rotation. Internally rotate the knees, hands are internally rotating, externally rotate with a little bit of a cat cow in your spine. So there's an arch on the external rotation and a curl on the internal rotation. Open it up. Exhale, close. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Inhale, open. Exhale, closed. Side shift. Pick up your knee. I just have to give him 1 minute of playing because I can feel that is what's necessary. And it might be entertaining. So side, I am adding a cat to the workout. If you don't have one, you can watch mine. And we are going to stay on one side. You're going to take your leg out, bring it in, big side stretch, up, take it out and in, big side step, out, in, up, out, in, up, out, in, side stretch. What happens when I have the cat? I lose the rhythm a little bit, right? Because I'm playing with this extra person here, being. If you have pets, if you have children, if you have grandkids, if you have someone to play with, take the time to do that. Put down the phone, turn off the TV, turn off the Netflix and play with them, right? I've been playing a lot more with them and they're so happy. And the reason is because I have good toys. This is a very abused peacock feather. All right, we're going to do another thing. We're going to do a rhythm exercise. So historically, or back in days long gone by, tribes would come together and play music and dance, right? People would come together. We still sort of do it. Like we do it at a concert venue. We do it, but you might not dance, you might not feel comfortable. So we're going to do a step, clap, step, clap, step, clap, step, clap, step, clap, step, clap. Let it have some movement. You can get your hips going. Hands are going to move up higher. Hands are going to move down lower. Hands are going to move up higher. Hands are going to move down lower. Turn it to the side. Clap over your shoulder. He's got his own rhythm. We're almost done. If you start to feel like, if that's challenging for you, keep practicing. Just do it when you're in your house. I always feel happy when I do that, especially a little faster. Always makes me just feel like, oh yeah, I get up, I feel happy. So bring that into your practice of embodiment. One of the nice things about that, let's keep moving as I'm talking. Let's open into a second position, knees over the toes. The knees aimed over the toes, plie down. My hands are slightly in front of me. One of the nice things about that, finding that rhythm, is that it makes dancing easier. It also makes playing music with another person easier. Music is still music if you're all following the rhythm together. So you can play the wrong notes, you can be flat or sharp, but if you are in rhythm, still sounds like music. Once the rhythm goes out, it stops sounding like music as much. Interlace your hands up over your head, shift from side to side. And I think we don't think about how important rhythm is. Different cultures have different relationships to rhythm. Some people grow up hearing really great syncopated beats and rhythms and understanding those just intrinsically. And some cultures don't. Some cultures don't have so much bass in their music, or like it's always like this. It's even, as opposed to, oh, there's another one, down, up, down, up. Just to feel into this, let's circle our shoulders. That's a very Irish one. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Sometimes it would be a waltz with less emphasis on the actual beat. I mean, the beat's there in the waltz, but we're not using a drum. But the drum and the flute and the human voice are like the instruments that we used to rely on, right? And to connect with each other. Drum, flute, human voice. Good. And let's take it down to a forward fold. Just shift from side to side. So I think that on a body level, part of the thing about finding rhythm is that when we start to find rhythm with other people, or even with just listening to music, we're offering our body a chance to come into its own coherence, right? We're starting to establish rhythm. There are natural rhythms in our body, which are sometimes shifting and changing. There's the rhythm of your heartbeat, that very obvious one. But there's also the rhythm of different fluids moving through you. And different fluids are moving through you at different sort of capacities. Let's take it down to the floor. Squeaky Deaky has calmed down now and is sitting happily in the window. So thank you for humoring me with the cat play. Sitting in a cross-legged position or any other position. You could also do this on a chair. If getting down on the floor is rough for you, sit on a chair. We're going to circle. Now, of course, Peapod shows up, right? She's like, oh, yeah. Why do cats have to, don't scratch that? Why do they have to scratch the mat? This is like their favorite thing. Well, she just likes to scratch the carpet too. Circling around, change direction, go the other way. This doesn't have to be your biggest circle, just something gentle. Think of your pelvic floor as if you're pouring, let's say you have a basin and you're like covering the basin with some fluid. So we can think of that as our pelvic floor, and the muscles, tissue, organs in there getting hydration, sliding and gliding against each other. So our gut body, our reproductive organs aren't locked into place, but there's a freedom and a motility to them. All right, let's take it to the side stretch. Oh, going off vertical, opening it up, taking it to the other side, letting your head go off vertical. Inhale, open. Yeah, we're still having pretty intense heat wave up here, although it did rain a bunch yesterday. Of course, that the massive deluge that came yesterday afternoon happened right when we were loading our gear to go to this gig. Well, not to go, just loading our gear to pre-gig, which was fine for the drums, but like all the electronic equipment, not so much. Let's circle the whole way around. And I have to say, like, just making 2 trips, like that would be the equivalent of walking across this room to get to Sierra's truck to put the drums in the truck. I was like drenched, like I had taken a shower, like somebody had poured like buckets of water over me. Like every part of me was drenched. And last one. and open it up. Let's just take a spiral in one direction, looking behind you. Once you get there, you don't have to go to your biggest spiral, but come in and then just turn your head toward the back and then toward the front. So you're looking behind you and you're looking forward and you're taking in your environment. You're seeing the colors, the shapes, the space around you, inviting it in to your experience, into your awareness. Good. And then switch it to the other side and the same thing, looking forward, looking backward, looking forward, inviting your spinal cord, your optic nerve into the equation. So inviting both of those things. Looking back, seeing what's there. I see some kitty paws in the window. He's behind a curtain over there. His little feet are sticking out. Good. And then come in and unscramble. We're going to do the other side, but first we're just going to roll across one butt cheek and then the other. Letting this massage out your glutes, coming up to that top knob of your femur on the outside, your greater trochanter. Massaging it out. So if you ever have, like if your piriformis is tight, if your glutes are tight, and probably for most people they are, from not enough movement, too much sitting, and not enough like rolling around on the floor. But if those things are tight, you can get sciatica, or like if it's kind of like with sciatica, what I think is happening is that your nerves, which are moving through your body, they're routed out, moving through the connective tissue, because the connective tissue is the organ of form. And sometimes they can get a little stuck, like they could be adherence and then inflammation. So when we roll, when we move, we're offering those nerves that are moving through our body also the chance to de-stickify themselves. That's the technical anatomical term. There's two, decrustification and de-stickifying. But yeah, adding them, giving them a chance to move, lubricate the area, put your non-dominant leg in front. If it feels awkward, it's the right one. And let's circle again. Circling. If you're holding tension in your gut body, invite it to just relax. So this movement is as easy as possible. We're not trying to engage every muscle. We're just trying to move as simply and easily as possible. Change direction. Doesn't have to be your biggest motion. And as we're doing this, like my sacrum is moving around too, right? My bones and my pelvis are moving around. My pelvic floor is moving around. My reproductive organs, my guts, my diaphragm is moving around. Even my heart and lungs are moving around. And inside of all of me, my nervous system is moving around. All right, let's open it up. Take it to the side. Inhale, open, and to the other side. Feeling into it, butt connected to the floor, letting your head go off vertical, letting your discs readjust if necessary, right? Maybe one's bulging a little bit on one side. So we can think of lengthening and moving and imagine the bones and discs of your spine just doing the exact right amount of curving from side to side. If it feels like too much, make it smaller. If you feel like, oh, I want to try a little bit more, go a little further. But often, you know, when people do get injured, it's when they've gone just a little further, right? That's where we find the boundary. Let's circle the whole way around. When you've gone too far, you know where the boundary is. This is true in dissection, in anatomy dissection. It's also true in human relationships, right? Oops, shouldn't have said that, or whatever. Or when you put up your own boundary, like stop. That can be very healthy, right? Healthy boundaries with other people. So they know when we give people the boundary, they know how to treat us and come up. And sometimes that's hard, especially for people pleaser types, for people that want to be liked. Oh, I don't know. Should I say something or should I not say something? If there's something in you that needs to be said, let it out. Let's do the twist with the head moving back and forth, right? Because if you're feeling like a ball in your throat, then probably you need to say something. And sometimes that's really hard, but then afterwards it sets you free, right? We used to have a poster in my house that said, "The truth will set you free, but first it will make you miserable." Change it to the other side. This is when I was growing up. My dad had all these posters with little sayings on them. And they all had like a picture, like a nature picture, like seagulls on the beach, or I don't know, nature pictures with these important, are they called aphorisms? These little sayings. And let's take it down to the floor. Onto your back. More rolling. This time, like roll onto one side, pour your body to the other side. So when it is hot or when the weather is extreme, then you might need to not do all the things that you normally do, right? You might need to listen to your body. I'm going to reach with one arm. So I'm going to roll to the side and then I'm just going to reach a little further with that arm. Rolling and reaching. Humans, this reaching is like a pattern that babies have, right? They start to learn to reach, starting to develop their finer motor skills. But reaching for us is a way of lengthening out through our fascia, right? Reaching out through our fascia, reaching out through our body, and also creating a pull in the fascia. So we're reaching, stretching, opening. Let's come back in and we're gonna do the same thing with our legs. So you're gonna roll to the side, you're just gonna reach and then roll across the other side and reach. Massaging through your back and just reaching through your leg. If you want, you can stay open on top. So you can just roll through your back, but your arms stay open. But if spiraling is hurting you at all, then go to that side and reach. Reaching with your toes. So the other thing that we're doing here is a core distal pattern where from our center out to our edge and back in again, right? We're sending the energy out, we're bringing it back. What does it mean sending the energy? Like, am I talking, do I feel energy? I'm just awakening the neural pathways from my brain out through my feet or through my fingertips, right? So we're creating this connection, and the neural pathway is sending energy to make that connection. And within our fluid system, especially our interstitium, which is all the fluid let's say the fluid that the fascia is packed in, right? The fascia has all this fluid around it, and that's moving around. That is like conducting electrical impulses and energetic systems through our body, right? Thinking about like how they always say, stay out of the water when it's lightning, right? Because you could get struck by lightning. So the water in our body conducts electricity. And those flows and forces of currents of electricity, we don't know a whole lot about them, but there's the electromagnetic field of the earth and also our bodies. Our heart has a electrical impulse that's making it go. And so are our nerves, right? And even our cells. Take our arms over our head, stretch really long, stretch through one side of your body and then through the other. So really feeling this whole connected living body that really, without your phone, it doesn't really have anything to do with a machine or a computer, right? We are living, vibrating, energetic systems. Okay, let's come in and make big circles with your arms. Inhale, arms up over your head. Exhale as you come up. Inhale, open. Exhale. And we don't know in Western medicine a lot, but you know who does know a lot? Eastern medicine, the Tai Chi for one, the chakra system for another. Like people think, oh, that's just baloney. It's like, no, it's just that you don't understand it. So there are systems that are very familiar with many different energetic forces in our bodies. There's really a great book written by Donna Eden called Energy Medicine, if you're interested in this. Great book. I read it a long time ago and I still use it as a reference. She's an energy healer, teacher person, but it's very coherent. So if you're interested in that, Donna Eden, Energy Medicine, you're welcome. I'm not getting paid by Donna Eden. I've never met her. Press up your pelvis, circles with your hips. But I feel like it's important to share anything that helps other people, right? It's like anything that makes anyone feel better is good for all of us. Change direction. Let's say anything that makes anyone feel better and it is coherent to the wholeness pattern of all people. Meaning, if it makes you feel good to hit your dog, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about things that like are nourishing for the whole system, like energy medicine. Let's come in, take your arms up over your head, and just push pull a little, giving yourself a little massage through your shoulders and feeling into that push pull. You should probably, or you will probably feel your hamstrings firing up more and maybe even your quads. Feel what your feet are doing. Are your toes connecting to the floor? And then slowly roll it down through your spine, vertebra by vertebra, articulating through the spine. At the bottom, inhale, fill up, and let's just stretch it out again, reaching long. Core distal relationship, center to edge, like a starfish radiating out. Let's open up into an X. And from here, we'll do a contralateral pattern, cross body, elbow to knee, and then sliding it out. Elbow to knee, sliding it out. You could bring up your head if you wanted to. You don't have to. Work with what feels good in your body today. The ongoing monologue. I think that I do most of my talking when I'm teaching. It's not that I don't have conversations with Anthony or with my friends and whatever, family. It's not that I don't think I actually do talk very much when I am in person with other people, but I do not stop talking the whole time I'm teaching. And probably what's happening for me as I'm doing this is that I'm processing a lot of stuff. All right, let's come in and do a heel rock. Release. We process through our bodies. We want to free up our emotions. We want to free up our flows in our body so that they can move through us. Stagnant flow. It's like stagnant water. It gets yucky, it gets murky. So we want to clear the energetic flows, the fluid flows, the tension flows, all that stuff so that we aren't walking around with the brakes on, right? I feel like that's one of the problems with the whole world is that everybody's holding so much tension, they're not letting it release. And also we aren't taught how to drop into our autonomic nervous system and go into that parasympathetic rest and digest, soothe and settle. We need to do that. That's where we heal. That's where we digest. All the lectures, bring it in, press it up. I mean, some people are taught, but mostly it's not something that we talk about, and it's super important. All right, we are going to walk our feet a little closer together. So maybe they're a few inches apart, and we're going to take it for a little stomp, just pressing up, pushing your foot off the floor. So you're pushing and pointing, and then coming in for a landing through your foot. Feel the sole of your foot. Push and point, push and point. We're not going to straighten out the leg on top. We're not going for a huge hamstring stretch. We're activating the hamstrings and activating the feet, working through your feet, giving those feet some attention. That will pay off with better balance and more integration in your body, right? If your feet have some awareness, if you have some connection to them beyond something you stick in a shoe and forget about, right? Take it in, press up a little higher, take your arms up over your head again, do that rock one more time. This time, pick up your toes. So just the toes picking up. Thank you very much, Squeaky Deaky, for getting in there. And then release that. And then I'm just wondering what's going to happen here. Slowly roll it down through your spine. Hi. Is it time to go to sleep on me? Is that what it is? This is a very rare moment. The other cats like to come and get up on me, but this cat normally doesn't do this. He's showboating today. All right. So let's go with some spirals from here. So you're going to open your arms out. I'm going to remove the cat probably. Lovingly remove the cat. Open your arms wide, bend your knees, going from side to side. Oh, I got a good crack there. The mountain climber is set on climbing the mountain. But that's the thing also, like, if you want more love in your life, give more love, right? If you have pets, I mean, pets are so great, but like play with them, take them for walks, do whatever it is. Like we have a neighbor who has a dog, and it's a big like pit bull dog, and he lives in the guy's backyard, but I've never seen that dog go for a walk. He also lives in his house, and it's like, take your dog for a walk. For the love of God, give it a bigger domain than your backyard. That dog barks at everyone and everything. But one time I met the dog outside. The dog had gotten out of the house and he came up so excited to see me. Like when I am in my backyard, that dog is barking and growling at me. But once he met me in person, it was different, right? Take your dog for a damn walk. Anyway, let's come on to hands and knees. We're going to crawl to the front of the mat and then crawl back. If you need more padding under your knees, that is fine. Get yourself more padding or don't do this. That's another option. But crawling is great for us. This is one place where we started, and it's great to come back to. We want to be able to do this for the rest of our life. This may be your back seizes up, you can't do something, you may need to crawl to get somewhere. It has happened to me before, not for a long time, but it has happened. So we want to be able to locomote no matter what the situation is. Like, oh, I fell, I broke something. Can I drag myself somewhere to get to the phone, to reach out to somebody? You know, we want to be able to not get stuck on the floor. Let's take it forward and down onto our bellies. Bend your knees, let them fall from side to side, massaging your quads. Releasing your lower back, wagging your big bushy tail, playfully, joyously. What kind of tail do you have? Use this moment to imagine one. Ask yourself, what does my tail look like right now? And then come in, tops of the feet to the floor. Give your brain a chance to have some imagination, right? And some wonder. I wonder what it looks like. Often a picture will come in. I'm getting really weird imagery. Not even going to say what it is. Oh, I'll say what it is. It's like psychedelic mushroom tail that's like red with white polka dots. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale. And bushy. How does a mushroom have a what I don't know. Bring it in. Bring in the creativity. Bring in the weird. Okay, we're going to change this. You're going to ear towards your shoulder. Small baby cobra circles. Head to the floor. 3 or 4 in each direction. Doesn't have to be big. Really work within a range of motion that feels good. And then go the other way. Gentle and slow change in the body, right? If it's new to you to be working out with me, I'm talking to the TV land folk, then go easy. Take your hands next to your chest, arch it all the way up, or not. Go as high as feels good. Inhale, looking out and up, opening up. You can try bending your knees, taking that into a big stretch of the front of your body, right? When I first started doing it and bending my knees, like recently, whatever, in the past couple of years, it did not feel good. And now it feels really good. So things change as we get there. Relax, child's pose, wiggle around, let it go. Relax your shoulders, relax your head, relax your neck. Breathe. And then roll it up through your spine. And let's just do it. Let's just do some tricep push-ups. So knees on the floor, elbows into your sides. If you need to make it easier, you can be here, right? This could be the easy one. You're not doing too much. The hardest one would be with your knees off the floor. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to demo it. I'm just going to leave my knees on the floor, my body in a line, elbows into my sides, shoulders wide, neck is long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm going to pop it up into a downward dog, stretching through my calf and Achilles. I can bend and twist a little bit, getting more into my hip, looking under one armpit. And then I'm just going to reach my butt to the ceiling, my heels to the floor. And I'm going to take myself forward. Knees are going to touch down, and then butt goes back up. And again, knees touch down, butt to the ceiling. Point your tail. Take it down, reach and lengthen through your spine, and take it down. Press it up. 2 more. Down. Push. And last one. Down and push. I got to do this just for myself. I really have to stretch this out. So take one leg up, pulsing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Switch it to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Take it forward into a plank. We're going to take the elbows down to the floor. One hand is going to move towards the other elbow. You're going to pop onto your side into a side plank. Circles with the top arm. Big circles. You can put your knee down if you need to. Make it easier if you need to. And change direction. Circle the other way. Following your hand with your eyes. Imagining nice, juicy movement. Gradated rotation in your rotator cuff. Switch it to the other side. Circles. Open. Rib cage, lungs, heart. Moving. And then change direction. I just vacuumed before this class, and like just having that little white cat in here for 2 minutes, there's like tufts of white hair everywhere. No amount of brushing is going to, I don't know, solve it. It's just like if you have cats, you got to vacuum all the time. You just have to vacuum all the time. Onto your sides. But you know what? I like to vacuum. My mom, this is a long time ago, and I was kind of annoyed at a boyfriend, and my mom was like, "Oh, just go home, just go vacuum, you'll feel better." I was like, "It's actually true." It sounded like an insult, but it was actually true. All right, coming onto your side, we're gonna take our toes to our knee, internal and external rotation, going 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Try to get that femur head really working in that socket. 8. Just 8 of those. Take it down. Flex your feet. Top leg. Turn it out and in. 1, 2. Straight down below you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's all we're going to do on that side for right now. Find your way to the other side in whatever way feels right to you. Taking it down, toes to your knee, legs are straight down below you. So you're not Pilates piking. You're in a long line, in and out. 1, try not to sickle your foot. 2, 3. So leave it like one long line. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Lower it down, flex both feet, top leg, turn it out and in. 1, and in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And release. Bring it back around to the first side in whatever way you do that. This is when I noticed that I still have some kind of bruise on my tailbone, which I think might just be like fascia is tight and it's pulling in there because I didn't hit it, but I think I got the bruise from traveling. Like it was an all day of traveling that was, I don't know, way too much sitting. Like sitting and I are not big fans of each other. All right, coming on to this right angle here in your hip, right angle in your knee. You're gonna take your knee up towards your shoulder, turn it out, reach it down slightly behind you and in. Up, out, down, and in. I'm gonna count them. 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to go for 8, 6, 7, 8. Change direction. Knee goes down, leg goes down. 1, knee towards your shoulder. 2, it's like you're saying, come on with your knee. 3, come on. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Bend, grab on. If you can't grab it and you have a sock on, grab your sock, grab your pant leg, grab something so that you have a connection. Take your knee down, and you're just going to slightly internally and externally rotate, moving the stretch through the different layers of tissue and fascia, muscle and fascia. So muscle is really the juicy stuff that's inside of fascia. Muscle puts the tension on the fascia, but it's super interwoven and interrelated. It's not like they're two separate things. They're just two separate names that we call these different densities of tissue. Good. And then you're going to kick back and release and come to the other side, however you want to do that. Getting up and getting down are more important than the actual exercise, right? Getting into your positions, transitions in life, getting from here to there, more important than being able to do a lot of these exercises perfectly. But we are creating a flow and agility in our body. Knee towards your shoulder, up and out, down and in. And we're hydrating all that tissue. There's a fluid in your joints called synovial fluid that as you move in really three-dimensional ways like this with that ball and socket joint, you're promoting the production of this lubricator, which is like the WD-40 of your hips. 3 more. 2, last one, and then change direction. Give your foot a flex if you're cramping at all. Reach it down, knee towards your shoulder, up and in. You can also relax your foot. I'm just going with a pointed foot right now to really find the end of that line. It's good to have access to that, but sometimes, especially as you get older, your feet are going to cramp. 2 more. Last one. Bend it, grab it, or grab your sock or grab your pant leg, or just hit it against the couch, whatever you need to do just to connect to something. And then internally and externally rotate, mobilizing the tissue in this very three-dimensional way on the stretch. And then roll over onto your back. And we're going to cross one leg over the other, ankle over your knee, bottom foot's on the floor. Just let your feet, let your lower body tick-tock from side to side. Again, massaging out your hips, relaxing your lower back. Think of spreading your body like butter. Spread your back across the floor like butter. Breathing and melting. And if you need to stay in one area for a little while, go for it. Yeah, like I feel like I could just stay and wiggle around in one place a little bit. And then we're not going to take it up yet. We're going to switch it to the other side. And the same thing, letting it fall, gently letting it fall. You're not smacking it down to the floor, but easy and loose with as little tension as possible, rolling from side to side. So if you have like holding patterns in your gut body or in your pelvic floor or in your inner thighs, wherever, let that soften as much as you can. Just let it fall from side to side. And a lot of us develop these holding patterns of whatever tensions we're holding on to because the messaging that we got about who we're supposed to be in the world helps us hold those patterns. It might be somebody yelled at me every time I did something, so I started to create a tension around whatever. Or it could be very different, right? Let's bring it in, shake out both legs, and roll back and forth, rolling through your spine, massaging through your back. Trying to make the curl as curly and round as possible so that your lower back is getting some massage through that big bandy fascia that's coming down, connecting in towards your sacrum. Let's come up. I almost never do this position, but let's do it. You're gonna just come into this Baddha Konasana butterfly position, take it down, breathe into it. You can turn your head a little bit from side to side. And then we're going to come up and we'll do that Pilates roll, the seal. I always felt like it was so stupid, but here we go. Rolling back and forth. And if you want to, you can find your balance and do the open close, flapping your little flappers, right? If you want to. Think of it as just a coordination, working for a coordination. You could also try straightening out your legs. If you've got this, go for straight legs. Get that roll in. Woo! Straight leg position. Good. And then let's come up. Time check. Oh, we're getting done. We are getting done with class. So let's just do one more hip stretch and then we'll stand up. So I'm going to do ankle to knee and just breathe into it for a minute. In a perfect world, this ankle is right on top of that knee and this ankle is right under that knee. I'm almost there, not quite. If you need to do this laying down and just doing a figure four into yourself, that's fine. Or a figure four with your leg, bottom leg straight, also fine. Whatever works for you, just take it down, breathe, melt and spread, inner body. Spacious nervous system supported by the fluids of your body, supported by the fascia. Just rest in that. And then come up. Sometimes people say, like, I'll say, oh, I do something talking about fascia. And they're like, that's really in right now. It's like, oh, is it like clothing? Like, oh, we're all wearing black. Oh, we're all just talking about fascia. So good, because we're talking more about our bodies. And just to add to that, like, I've been studying fascia since the 90s, which is actually true, but we're always learning more. There's like, it's like the inside of the body is as or how things really function on multiple levels is there's a lot of material we do not know. Take it down. There's still new information. We're learning more. So good. It's in. That's awesome. It's not a competition. And the more integrated people are with their learning, the more willing they are to share it and be excited about it. And, seeing the wholeness of the whole picture. When anyone feels better, we all feel better. When anyone struggles, we all struggle, right? We are interwoven in ways that we cannot see or comprehend. At least I can't. Maybe you can. Undo it, bang it out, rotate in and out. And then slide your feet underneath you and take your butt up to the ceiling. Even like if you hate someone, that hate is in you. It's not somewhere else. Shift it from side to side, right? So like if you're angry, that anger at someone else, the anger is in you. And I'm not saying don't ever be angry. Of course, we want to let the feelings arise. We don't have control over them, but we can think about how and what we are putting our energy into. Let's come in, roll it all the way up. Right? What we put our energy into is what grows. Inhale, open. Reach for the heavens, maybe tippy toes. Go if you can. You can't see my whole body here with this particular camera version, but my arms are reaching to the ceiling and I'm going up onto my tippy toes and coming down. Up and down, pumping my calves. Good. And then just breathe. Inhale, open. Take up space. Exhale. We do not know how far our energy body is traveling out into the world. I know they've done some like studies on the electromagnetics of your heart and how far that radiates out, which is apparently very far. So There is interwoven interconnectedness happening on multiple levels. Even just thinking about it, right? Like if I say, what am I going to say? Like somehow like, oh, I'm thinking about a purple sheep, right? Like now you're thinking about a purple sheep because I said it, right? And like now it's in you too. Anyway, that is my big deep thought for the moment. And anybody out there in the TV land, in the interwebs, which I can't even actually watch, thank you for joining. Oh, there, I can watch. Sometimes I can. Sometimes it blocks me and sometimes it lets me. But we are now at the end of the program and you did it. Bravo. Pat yourself on the back. Thanks for joining.